Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today my video is going to be a foundation collection video. I'm going to show you the different foundations I do have and talk a little bit about each one. I'm not going to swatch them all or talk too much about them just because I do have a lot of foundations. But I am going to actually start off with one of the ones I do use quite a bit, and that is my Stila Stay All Day Foundation and Concealer. I use this in shade Deep. This was advertised to be more of a full coverage foundation, but when I use it, it's more of a medium coverage foundation. I do really enjoy it though, and I do enjoy the concealer that does come on the top. I've actually used most of it, but this is a very good foundation. Another foundation that I actually did just recently pick up another shade of is the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation in the shade Deep 78 Neutral. That is actually what I have on today, and I feel like this is a very full coverage foundation. I love the finish. This is one of the Kat Von D products that I will continue to purchase just because this foundation works amazing on my skin. Another foundation I did get recently is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in Chai. This foundation is a very good foundation. I do think the shade match is a little light, so I will be taking this back to Sephora to get a deeper shade. But I do love the coverage, and I do love the formula of this foundation. I'm just gonna take it back to Sephora and get a deeper shade because I feel like it is too light on my skin tone. I also recently got the Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation in shade Mahogany, and I love this foundation. This is not as full coverage as some of my other foundations, but I tend to use this if I'm running out early in the morning, like to go to school, to go to work. I'll just throw this on, and it is a very nice foundation. It does have a scent to it, but the scent is not too strong, but if you do not like stuff that is scented, I would not recommend this. Another Stila foundation I have is the Aqua Glow Serum Foundation. I have this in shade Deep as well. So this is definitely more of a dewy, luminous foundation. This comes in a dropper form, so it comes in a dropper like that. So this is a very lightweight foundation. I feel like this would be almost a light coverage foundation. This is a very good, I liked using this in the summer when I was going to be outside and I didn't want something that was too full coverage. I just wanted something that would cover my blemishes but not get too cakey or too full coverage. So I did enjoy that foundation a lot. Another foundation I really do enjoy is the Tarte Double Duty Beauty Shape Tape Matte Foundation. So this comes in a very unique form. It comes with a doe foot applicator, and I love this foundation. This foundation is extremely full coverage. Like I adore the Shape Tape concealer, so when I heard they were coming out with foundation, I was super excited. I have the shade Deep Honey, which is a little bit light for my skin tone, and I actually just ordered a deeper shade from Ulta that I have not got in yet, but I will be getting soon. So I'm excited to get that deeper shade, but this foundation is extremely full coverage. I love, love, love this foundation, and it is definitely a very long wearing foundation as well. Another one of my faves is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Long Wear Foundation. I actually have two of them because I do use them so much. I'm almost out of this one, so I did go ahead and buy another one. I am shade 440. I find this to be a very good foundation. It is more of a medium coverage to me, not as much of a full coverage, but it gives me a very matte finish, and it covers most of my blemishes very well. A drugstore favorite foundation that I do have is the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Foundation. Now this foundation for a drugstore product is a very full coverage. I really enjoy this. I use shade, let's see if it's 355 Coconut is my shade in this foundation. So I do use this a lot. It is, I believe this is a $9, it's $9 or $12 foundation. So it is a very cheap foundation, but it does work very well. Another drugstore foundation that I really do enjoy is the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover Foundation. This is a full coverage foundation, 24-hour wear, and it's a very thick formula. So it does come in like the tube form, and I have two shades. I have shade 312 and 311, and for winter I usually use 311. Now in the summer I definitely do go with the 312 because it's a little deeper, but for winter I do use the 311. So I do love this product. It's very full coverage. I think if I had to compare this to a high-end foundation, I would compare this to the Kat Von D Lock-It. It is extremely thick and extremely full coverage and very matte, which I love. So this is a very good recommendation for a drugstore foundation. And I have a couple stick foundations. I am not the biggest fan of stick foundations, but I do have a couple that I use. I don't use these too much because I don't know, they don't come up when I think of foundation first of all. But I have the Anastasia Beverly Hills. I have shade Espresso and shade Mink. I do not use these too much, but I have to say that they are definitely good products. I love shade Espresso. It's definitely more my shade. I actually use shade Mink more as a concealer because it is definitely too light and too almost gray on me. So that I use almost as a concealer or underneath another foundation if I want a little extra coverage. But I do enjoy these. I just do not find myself picking up stick foundations as much as I do my liquid foundations. Another stick foundation I do have is the Bliss. Actually, what is the actual name of this? I'm not actually sure what the name of this is, but it's the Bliss stick foundation. It looks like this. This is in shade Bronze, and it doesn't actually say the name of this foundation, but I did pick this up from Kohl's. It is the Bliss stick foundation. I actually think it's called a Blur stick. It might be called a Blur stick. So I love this. I actually love this stick foundation. I actually have not picked this up for quite a while now, but when I first got it, I was using this a lot, and the coverage on this is extremely good. It is definitely a matte formula, and the shade match is very good on my skin color. I have another Kat Von D Lock-It. This is in shade Deep 67. So this is actually quite light for me. I got this last winter, so I was definitely lighter during the obviously lighter during the winter, so I did get a lighter shade. And another very good full coverage foundation is the Milk Makeup Matte Foundation. I love this product. This was actually one of the first products that I did try from Milk Makeup, and this Blur Liquid Matte Foundation is amazing. Like, I literally use like 2 drops of it on a beauty blender, and it covers my entire face. It covers all my imperfections. Sometimes I don't even use concealer when I use this because it is so extremely full coverage. I love this. Another foundation, well, this is actually not foundation, it's a CC cream. It's the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC cream. This is amazing. This is in shade Deep, which I hate to say that this is the darkest shade that they do carry. Shade Deep is the darkest shade, so it is very sad that people that are darker than I am cannot use this product, but this CC cream is amazing. I actually always have a hard time finding CC creams just because of my skin color, and I was so excited when I did find this, and it is definitely full coverage. It has SPF 50. It doesn't irritate my skin. There is a little bit of a scent to it, so if you don't like a scent, it does definitely have like that almost like more of like a sunscreen scent to it, but I definitely recommend this. If they have your shakes, I believe they only have about 8 to 10 shades. I'm not sure how many they have. I think it's 8 shades. So this is the deepest. They have 8 shades, and they also did just come out with a new oil-free one, which I haven't tried yet, but I'm very excited to try. But this is definitely a very good CC cream. This is one of the only CC creams I've found that actually has my skin tone. Another foundation I have, which I actually picked this up at CVS. I do not believe CVS carries this brand anymore, but it is the Nuance Salma Hayek Liquid Foundation. So I picked this up when it was on sale a couple months ago at CVS. I've only used this a couple times, and this is definitely a very almost dewy foundation. Let me see what it says. It says it's a smooth, radiant finish. So I would agree with that. It's a very luminous foundation. I did pick this up on sale because my CVS was getting rid of their line, so this was only like $2, so I picked it up. But I've only used it a couple times. I don't really use dewy foundations. They're not really my thing. I really love the matte. I really love matte full coverage. Another foundation I do have is the MAC Studio Fix Powder to Cream Foundation. This I have in shade MW55, and I actually use this almost as like a setting powder, which I got this to use as foundation, and then I saw one of Nikki Tutorial's videos and she was using the Studio Fix powder foundation as like a setting powder over her foundation. So I've actually been using this as like a setting powder and loving the extra coverage I get from that and loving this product. Another powder foundation I have is the Becca Perfect Skin Mineral Powder. This is in shade Cocoa. So as you can see, that is definitely a very dark shade. So I picked this up, and I definitely picked it up in the wrong shade, and I use this as a contour shade now. So this I was going to return it, but then I was like, well, I do need a new contour, and this is actually a very cool toned kind of foundation, so I did end up just keeping this and using it as my contour shade. Another foundation I have that I really do not use is the Lorac Touch Up To Go Concealer and Foundation Pen. So this is a very unique product. It literally has like, it's like this brush, and you push the bottom, like you click it up, and the foundation comes like up through the brush, and then you just like paint it on your face. It's a very strange concept. I really don't like it. I picked it up, and I really don't return things. I get too lazy to return them, and I just keep them in my drawer. So I just ended up keeping this, didn't return it, but it's not a product I would recommend. It's very strange. Like, using it is just weird. Like, this brush is not a good applicator. So if you're using this brush as like your foundation applicator, it's streaky, and it's just weird. I don't understand it. I might just be using it wrong. So if someone has that product and they say it works good, just drop in the comments how you use it, and maybe I am completely using it in the wrong manner. Another foundation I do have is the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Foundation. So this is definitely what it says. It's definitely a very luminous foundation, and this also comes with the dropper. And for a luminous foundation, I actually love this. I was actually very surprised because I normally am not a very luminous, dewy skin kind of girl, but this foundation is amazing, and I use shade Deep Bronze, and this gives me a very nice luminous finish. I definitely do use a setting powder over it just because I am very oily, so I don't want to get too oily, but for a luminous foundation, that works amazing. Another powder foundation I do have is the Kevyn Aucoin, the Sensual Skin Powder Foundation in shade Deep. I use this usually more over a liquid foundation. I tend to not just do a powder foundation. I use the powder foundation over a liquid foundation. So this is shade Deep. I really love this powder. This powder gives me a very like photoshopped, airbrushed look. So I really definitely enjoy this, and it is something I definitely use quite often. Another powder foundation I do use is the Becca Multitasking Perfecting Powder. So I use this, again, I use this more as a setting powder or over like foundation. After I use my liquid foundation, I will go over the places of my face that I want contoured, and I will use like a deeper colored powder. So I like to use that. I use this most every day. I actually have that on today over my Kat Von D foundation. Let's see. I have a couple little minis here. I have the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin mini. I have actually two of these. I have two different shades. I have R540 and Y505. So I have a couple shades. I do need to try that out. I've heard very good things about the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Skin, so I do need to try this out. It is advertised as a full coverage foundation, a 24-hour wear. So I am definitely going to try that out and see how that works. So I have one more. This is actually a tinted primer, but I actually use this more as a tinted moisturizer or like a CC cream, and that is the Gigi Hadid Maybelline tinted primer in medium deep. So this is a primer, but when I put on my skin, I use it more as a tinted moisturizer or as like a BB/CC cream when I want to just go out and not actually use a foundation. So that is my entire foundation collection. I hope you enjoyed my video today. If you have any foundations that you recommend or any product foundations you think I should try, or any brands of foundation that do come in the deeper skin tones that I would be interested in trying, please drop them in the comments. And as always, if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and drop a comment and just tell me products that you love or ideas for future videos. There will be a giveaway at 100 subscribers, so if you would just make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you want, drop a comment. That's how I will be picking my giveaway winners. And as always, I will see you in my next video.